Let's go, let's go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's get it, man. This your boy Foe, and right now you blaming it on the game. In this edition, we got my dog, my family, my cuz, the Yacht Life Chronicles himself. Man, happy birthday, cuz.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it, man.
For sure. For
And I
sure.
love what you got going on right here, man.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I really
know,
do, man.
and I know it's hard, you being into the music and the producing, and then jump into the podcast world. You know what I'm saying? Then you on the corner.
For
You got a
sure.
lot of things going on, man. How you find time to just put this all together?
I mean, prioritizing for the most part. You get what I'm saying? That's for the most part prioritizing. I got a list of things. I wear many hats, so I gotta prioritize what need to come first. And then go down the list and get things done. You know what I mean? So that's how I do my thing, And you yourself, man, like, you got the clothing line, Yacht Life Chronicles going on. You podcasting.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you for the people. You be interviewing almost everybody. You get what I'm saying? How did that come about with you?
Man, all I can say is that the universe is riding with me.
For sure.
The universe riding with me, man. I was just going through my YouTube today, and I be so focused on content to the point where once I put something up, I'm worried about the next content,
For sure.
and I never really get a chance to see that last piece that I put up. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to stay focused, man, and just bring Saginaw to the platform. I love Saginaw. Shout out to Saginaw. Saginaw my heart. And I know it's a lot of people. They take their eyes and they look outside of Saginaw.
Right.
They look further than Saginaw, but
Right.
I'm here to put a platform on the city of Saginaw.
Got to. It's only us to do it. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it start here and then we can branch off to any other market. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I understand why they do it though. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? It ain't no issue to the people that do branch off and go to different places and, make they dirt in the game. You get what I'm saying? But, for me, I feel like Saginaw, I'm representing somewhat called hope, in a city, because I done been to other cities. I done seen how things move, and I seen how their markets is and stuff. And I come back to the city, and it's like, dang, we ain't got this, we ain't got that, we ain't got this. So I put it on my back and try to be more innovative to bring new things to the city. You
And
get
I
what I'm
think
saying?
that's what the intriguing thing about with people that go and explore and get that cultural development in other places is that they have a market as to where they can bring it back
That's
to
a
their
fact.
city. You know what I'm saying? And be able to profit from it. When I was in Atlanta, this podcasting game and everything that I'm doing right now, I learned somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah.
Being down in showbiz, ENT, down in Clayton County, down there in Atlanta,
Hmm.
and seeing just looking through the windows and seeing the podcast promotional setups that they had, seeing the different nuances of podcast setups that you could come down, rent, put your logo, and different things like that. Then you had a lot of artists down there. We had the green screen. These things I had never seen before.
That's a fact.
I had never seen it in Saginaw. And going down to Showbiz ENT, I was able to mesh with the environment and mesh with the people and mesh with the entertainment that they had going on down there. And once I learned it and I wanted to bring that back to my city.
Right, right.
I know sometimes, because before I left, holding the camera up, podcasting, doing, just,
Playing all the
putting the
parts.
camera in
Playing
people's
all the
face.
parts.
It wasn't player. It was, a lot of people. It took, far as Saginaw concerned, it took a lot. It took a long time for people to get used to that.
Right. Right.
Putting the camera in their face and them talking. Because like I say, it's a, it's a hard city.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know what
this
I'm
is
saying?
tough, man.
Like you done been in Dallas, you done been down there in Texas. They was doing it way before we were doing it.
That's a fact.
And I cannot, and leaving, going out, getting that culture development and bringing it back, and being able to look at the things that I did, man, it's special. Going through my YouTube, being able to see everybody that, I had on the platform, about just how the brand was started, man, it's amazing.
Man, that's what's up, man.
It's amazing.
Like, what's some of your inspirations that made you want to start it? I heard that you was outside the city, you started seeing different things, but what made you to be like, man, I can do this?
When I was in prison, I wrote a book. And when I came home, I was more into writing the book because I didn't know about how technology was going. So once I came home in 2021, I seen how technology was going. So I said to myself, instead of finding an editor, instead of finding a publisher and all this and that, we can start talking about the book right now.
Right.
It was like, instead of waiting to get this book printed, hey, you can talk about everything that you got going on in the book right now on your phone.
Right.
So it was kind of like my mind was focused on the book. I had all the, getting this book together. But the book had really, prepared me for a podcast.
Okay.
Something that was more visual.
Okay.
And going down to Atlanta, like I say, putting my camera up and doing different things with my phone. And I said to myself, hey, start talking, start expressing things that you wrote in the book, start talking about things that you learned out the book. And that's how I got started.
Now, you mentioned in book, like, you seem like an intellectual type of guy. Like, what's like your top 3 type of books that kind of shape your mentality right now?
Ooh, good question. The 50th Law by 50 Cent and Robert Greene. James Allen, James Allen, Think Like a Man. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
That's my top 3. Like, if you guys read the 50th Law, if you guys read Your Magic Power to Get Rich, that I was just thinking about by Napoleon Hill, and if you read James Allen, As a Man Thinketh, you hear podcasts with Jeezy on there now. Jeezy talk about how James Allen, As a Man Thinketh, changed his whole perspective, persona of life. So if you guys just read those 3 books, then, because it's about, taking advantage of the information that's at your disposal. And that's what I did. I didn't know where this life would take me. All I knew was to read and learn. I never knew that it would morph into a podcast.
Okay. So you basically just jumped out there. Jumped out there head first, learned as you went, built your experience up to get to the level that you at now. And one thing I always talk about is being a student of the game, or whatever game you want to be in, whether it's podcasting, movies, artists, producing. You can learn all the information all you want, but when you jump into that game, you get experience hands-on. Because a lot of people learn in different ways.
Right.
So the way I learned is more about, I got to do it. I got to at least try it so I can learn how I want to maneuver in the game. And that's what it seemed like you're doing with your podcast, with your brand, with a lot of different things that you kind of like make your mind up to do.
Yeah, and and like I said, like, being hands-on you know, I got to be hands on with everything. I had to learn my own way. I had to learn through different people, like I learned through you. You know, we have to have that docile personality as where we can learn. If we don't like to learn, then we're not gonna have no skill set.
That's a fact.
You know, sometimes you have to learn from people while they working. Just paying attention to them in detail. People don't have enough time to teach you things anymore because they working. So you have to learn on the fly.
That's a fact.
You know, so if you need somebody to just say, hey, you need to do this, do that. Like, say for instance, as I'm watching you on the roadcaster, I can just watch you know, and learn as I'm here for days. I don't, you know, a lot of times people say, hey, I need you to, you know, go through the detail.
Right.
You know, it's just like even with printing clothes. You know, I had to learn on the fly. You know, but it's about your determination. It's about your ambition. It's about your passion and what you're trying to do. Because, like I say, we make time for what you want to make time for. And if like I say, once I had learned out of James Allen, Napoleon Hill, out of 50 Cent and Robert Greene, out them books, you know, that all this information is at my disposal. I never knew where it'd take me to. I knew that I wanted to write a book. That's all I knew. But I ended up with a podcast instead. You know, and you know, I'm still working on a book, but you know.
See, it's all about. I feel like the skills that we cultivate throughout our journey. I feel like that's our vehicle.
Yeah.
You know, our vehicle we have a destination. Sometimes you don't even know where your destination at. You got to pick up those skills, build your vehicle up, and just sit in it and get them wheels turning. And then you'll look up, oh, exit over here, or keep going here. You finding your destination as you rolling down that highway. You get what I'm saying?
Like I tell people, a block of wood will point you in any direction. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you got to go in the direction where your gift at, where your talent at,
That's
where
a
you got
fact.
the most resources, where you have the most support at. You know, because at the end of the day, you know, it's about resources. You know, we can think we can do everything on our own, but we can't. It's about resources. Even with my podcast, you know, those are resources. You know, when you're doing what you're doing down here in the music, those are resources. You know, so when we bring ideas to fruition, those same resources we can be able to recycle, and that's the whole thing. And you know, I love being a people person. You know, I think everybody should be a people person, especially if you're gonna be an entrepreneur in this world. If you're trying to do anything in this world, especially getting money. You know, you know, a lot of people say I ain't a people person. Well, you know, you ain't no getting money person. Because the people the one that got the money
Yeah.
at the end of the day. So if you trying to get money, then you have to be a people person. You got to know how to appease people. You got to know how to rub people the right way. You got to know how to woo people. You know, in order to develop your audience for you to sell your brand, you have to be a people person at the end of the day. So it's a lot of different nuances that go into this. You have to build a brand. You have to be a people person. You have to be diplomatic. You know, so like I said, take advantage of the information that's in front of you. Read much as you can. You don't know where that information can take you to, and then one day that information is going to be needed, like it was in my life. If 5 years ago, if you say that I would have a podcast, I would be doing this, I say, who, what? Not me. But, you know, life in taking advantage of different moments, opportunities, and information that's in front of you, no telling what it might morph you into.
That's a fact, man. And I'm glad that you mentioned that. Like, I wanted to talk to you about of the youth. Um, I get a lot of youngsters, a lot of young folks that probably listen to the podcast or come into the studio or whatnot. What's something that what's some advice that you probably can get that your younger self, your younger element of how you were when you was younger? What's some advice you would give yourself?
I should have listened. I should have listened to other people. I should have listened to what others was telling me. I should have listened instead of going off my own thoughts at a young age. You know, once you go into adversity, once you go into difficult situations, and like me, I had to learn the hard way. I went to prison several times because my head was so hard. You know, I'm one of them ones wouldn't listen, bumping their head, wouldn't listen. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I would tell my younger self that, listen, you know, I wouldn't have dealt with all the difficulty, all the adversity, the prison situations if I'd have listened to my mom, uncles, you know, listen to the people that was around me telling me things. But I was so caught up in my own mind and my own thoughts to the point where I really couldn't hear them. You know, it's just like I am now. I'm focused on what I'm focused on. You know what I'm saying? Some things I can't hear. You know, and back then I'm still getting, you know, trying to wash that out my system. But I'm being productive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like as far as like, okay, if what you're doing, if you're not gonna listen to this person, if you're not gonna listen to this person, you're gonna do things on your own way. Make sure you do it in a productive way.
Right. Right.
You know, and when I was, you know, a lot of things that I was doing in a negative way. You know, so I just wish that I would have listened when
Man,
I was young.
that's some jewels for the youth, for the youngins. And man, like you don't know it all yet. You know what I'm saying? You will never know it all. You know, so you gotta have a ear, at least an ear open. You can't have both ears closed and one mouth open.
Right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
why they say you got one mouth and two
Two
ears, so
ears.
you can hear twice as much as you speak.
Exactly. So, one thing about it, like as a youngin, when I was coming up, I was kind of that same way. Like I had my mindset on different things, and you know what I mean. I didn't pretty much listen to a lot of different things, and it landed me in trouble too. You know, but I feel like that's the experience that a person like me or a person like you needed to get that experience of, oh, I understand now.
Right.
Because people learn in different ways. um I find it that what's the quote? It say you, a smart man will learn from other people's mistakes. So growing up, I can always, I feel like I could have got what is it called? I found my way with learning from other people without them actually teaching me anything. You get what I'm saying?
And that's how you have to learn. You have to learn on the fly. You know, even in this life, you can't wait on people to teach you things. You know, you have to
Right.
learn, and you have to have your antennas up on every situation.
That's a fact.
You know, you have to have your micro glasses on and paying attention to detail when you're going through life, and if it's something that interests you. You know, whatever it is pertaining to your interest, and you know, you have to learn on the fly. You can't wait till somebody come and teach you. You just have to pay attention to it in detail and teach yourself.
Okay.
You know, because like I say, everybody has their own agenda at the
Right.
end of the day.
Right.
So a lot of people don't have time to teach you.
That's
So
a
what
fact.
you have to do is you have to pay attention to what they're doing and learn on the fly.
You gotta execute. You gotta execute yourself. You gotta put your best foot forward in learning of what you want to learn. You get what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And that kind of segue into the next topic I wanted to talk about is this social media thing and technology. I know you come from a different cloth, a different era. What do you think about this social media and the technology that we dealing with today, and how was it different in your era?
Well, in my era growing up, I seen it created, and I seen what it has morphed into now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was born in '76, so you know we had technology came out in the '90s. I seen when computers were first, when they even brought up the idea when it was on NBC, ABC News, you know, things of that nature, and to be able to see it morph into what it has morphed into now, I love it because it gives everybody a platform to develop an audience.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't have to be Michael Jordan. I don't have to be LeBron. I don't have to be Jeezy. I don't have to be T.I. I don't have to be a local. I don't have to be an international celebrity to have an audience. All I have to do is be consistent on my social media and put out the right talent, you know, which gives me an opportunity. And here we go, taking advantage of the things that's in front of you again. Right. And like I said, taking advantage of, you know, the information that's in front of you.
Right.
You know.
And one thing that you just said, it seemed like you use social media as a tool. And
I advise everybody to use it.
I advise it too. I mean, because I look at it like
it's the new life. It's the new. We living in the digital age.
Exactly. I look at it like this. If you're not using social media as a tool, you are consumed by social media. Like you just consumed by it. You are entertained by it. You're not it's not benefiting you in any type of way.
Right.
And it creates a false reality. And then you live in this false reality of entertainment that is not real.
And because a lot of people with social media, it takes away from real life.
That's a fact.
You know, people, I mean, kids don't even go out. It's wintertime and, you know, becoming winter in Saginaw. They don't go out and build snowmans no more. Kids don't go out. You don't see them throwing
sled,
football up the street.
I go see.
Yeah, you know.
Curveball. I used to have a clubhouse. I built the clubhouse.
Man, you talking about curveball. We used to be on 11th and Burr Street, man, throwing that ball back and forth, waiting. And over the car was 2 points.
What? Stop
You know what I'm
it.
saying? Waiting on the car to come down the
So you
street.
can get back.
Man, what? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like the fun with social media is you can use it to your advantage, but it has taken away from real life.
Yeah,
It has
I
taken
feel
away
like it
from
need to be a balance. Like I'm not opposed to social media at all. I just see what it do to people.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like you said, you can build your own platform. You can voice yourself. You can do this. You can do that. But like if your real life is not in order, or if you don't have like all your ducks in a row, and you get on social media portraying something, and then it creates a false reality like you this and like you that.
And we gonna even go a little further.
Yeah.
You know, here it is, you trying to put out content and you trying to do this and that, and you ain't taking care of your business and your Wi-Fi cut off.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't
Or
paying, you know.
your Wi-Fi on and your phone off.
You know what I'm saying? So at
And
the
you
end
still
of the
on there
day,
giggling.
you at the end of the day, you know, you could be focused on social media, but you got to be focused on your business at the end
That's
of the
a
day
fact.
too. So to keep
It's a balance.
there you go. It's a
You
balance.
gotta have a balance. Like I'm not opposed to the social media.